the darkness looks. Later, or during the process of falling in love with souls, darkness begins to appear, a very strange stage. Love is great, but there are moments when you feel that something is not right, something pushes you to want to run away or give yourself some space. They begin small behaviors from your partner that make you uncomfortable arise, and within you begins to question the relationship, whether to continue or not. The trust that existed moments before stops and you are no longer as available to show yourself as you really are. Those discomforts begin to break the relationship, the rehearsals of separation begin, the tremendous desire to run away to avoid arguments and/or disagreements. Temporary separations and reconciliations are frequent. Temporary absences, escapes or ghosting from either party begin to torment your thoughts. Insecurities arise. Could it be that there is no more love? But another part of you, showing you that you love him madly, is bitter sugar. Fears begin to be reflected, comparisons with previous partners, and that are just the childhood wounds that we have and we have not realized. And issues that we could not resolve in previous relationships. Fear of feeling that the fairy tale is over and we will go back to living the same thing we lived in the past. But another part of you anchors you to that situation that you don't want to let go of for any reason. But strange, paranormal things also begin to happen that we usually do not realize in that period of time, or we take them as coincidences, nothing to worry about. All of that will come out later and we will remember it. It's funny, but all the conversations that occur at this stage are never forgotten, the details are never forgotten, the words that arise in the discussions, all of this will help you later to discover the path. The journey begins. The paranormal. But strange, paranormal things also begin to happen that we usually do not realize in that period of time, strange dreams, which are usually remembered in their entirety. You can see yourself in other people as if it were another life, but in the deep down you know it's you. Possible visions, or daydreams. There will be times when you will not know if you were conscious or slept for a few moments. Friends who claim to have seen you physically in another place, and have an explanation. You are unconsciously awakening your quantum double. I will explain it later. Sleep paralysis, that is nothing other than a visit to the astral. I will also explain it to you later, since I would not want to lose focus on the stages. And the typical synchronicities of the warning that you are about to experience a spiritual awakening, 1111, begin to occur, and we usually take it as coincidences, nothing to worry about. All of this will come out later and we will remember it. In those moments, we don't give it as much importance, because of the mental and emotional chaos we are going through. Many can call it existential crises. You question everything about your life, what you do, where you are going, if the relationship will survive. Deep down, of course, you want him to survive, but there is something you don't like, but at the same time, deep inside you know that if you mention it, the relationship will most likely end. You will begin to feel or experience countless mental changes and bipolarities created by the instability of the relationship at those times. Even at work it also affects. Problems at work begin to arise, conflicts or situations that make you lose money. The economy is hit. It is a subconscious reality that you cannot control, and it has a metaphysical explanation that at this stage you cannot even imagine. Your vibration is going down. All of this has an explanation at an energetic level that you obviously do not know. The conflicts with your twin flame are bringing your vibration down. It is part of the dynamic. They will lead you to face your fears, face the greatest fear that exists in humans. Confront yourself. But that low vibration is what brings you conflicts everywhere. As I mentioned before, we attract what we vibrate, and in those conditions you will only attract chaos, problems, conflicts, and adverse situations in your economy, because that is your vibration. If you are not strong enough on an emotional level, you may seek to evade reality with occasional or sporadic relationships, Some people fall into vices, and everything is simply to evade reality, but it is your ego that is trying to avoid that confrontation with you, since it will be quite painful. I pause here to explain. What is the ego? The ego is something that is always within us. It is that mental voice that protects you from making decisions that can cause you pain or take you out of your state of comfort. It will protect you even from your own being, and from now on it will become a constant struggle, since it will prevent you from making decisions that could harm you. And I say fight because your soul will try to guide you to a better place, but your ego will prevent you from listening to it at all costs. It sounds quite incredible, but as time goes by you will realize that it is a reality. We all have or are guided by two inner voices. One is the voice of the ego, which comes as an intrusive thought in your mind, as if someone was talking to you mentally and will tell you things that you had not thought about, which is why I mentioned earlier that it will require a lot of discernment to learn to identify those thoughts. The voice of your soul. As I already told you, you have to learn to listen and differentiate between the voice of the ego and that of the soul. This soul of yours is also known as your higher self. But it is something that you will understand later. The soul does not speak to you like a thought, rather it speaks to you and guides you like an impulse. It is something at a subconscious level that makes you do things without thinking, make decisions at the speed of light, and it is because the soul knows that your ego will try to prevent you from listening to it. I will pause. When you sleep, the part of the ego also sleeps, and it is for that reason that most of the messages from your higher self and your guides will reach you in dreams, thus preventing the ego from intervening, and you can capture the message. The voice of the soul will also be heard. You could consider it intuition. But that impulse is never wrong. You can also tell it that your heart speaks to you. When you make a decision with your mind you can make a mistake. When you make a decision with your heart, you never make a mistake. That's how it works. The truth is that being able to differentiate them takes some time to understand when it is one or the other. That is one of the main reasons why many people who are in a twin flame dynamic cannot move forward or get out of where they are. They spend their time listening to their ego, and although they are suffering, they do not want to leave that state of comfort because it is the most comfortable, and they are terrified of facing reality, facing their own demons. Thank you for staying until the end of the video, and don't forget to give me a like, activate the bell and subscribe if you liked the video and found it useful.